It is time to meet King Shit of Mountain, the Great Mighty Poo.
Hey, pal, where you going?
Alright, take my bicycle out of here. It's not really bad in there. You just don't want to go in there.
Calm down. Now, just calm down and tell me what's the matter.
Right. Okay. It all started about 2 days ago. Yeah, the wife's got a job in Bromley. It was me and the lads. We were having a cup of tea. The next thing we know, Tez is gone. We couldn't find him. We thought, maybe he's just gone off, like do a bit of shopping or something. He never came back. Basil was next. He was just walking along, minding his own business. So I stood down and said, "Hey, Basil, how you doing there, mate?" And he waved over. And that was it. This thing came out of the shite. And I thought to myself, oh no, I'm getting out of here. So I had to hide first. And when I came out, I thought it was all clear. The lads are gone. The bastards didn't help me in. I'm out of here. You can do what you like. There's some money up there if you can be asked to get it. See yous.
Stakes are high. But we need that money.
How you doing, guys?
Bring me some sweet corn.
Who's that? Can't see anyone. Okay. If that's what he wants.
Conker's an agreeable fellow. Tell him to do literally anything. He'll do it. Even with a giant hand trying to smash him. Bam, gotcha. Now we'll take this sweaty sweet corn, or like sweat corn than anything else, and take it to the only point that sort of juts out and makes itself obvious. See what happens. Terrifying. Feel like this is the beginning of a classic blockbuster horror movie. Starring corn. In classic N64 style, we now have to do it again with additional corn. Double the corn, double the fun. A hand got them both, though. Sometimes it helps you out. Usually, though, it hits you instead. Like it doesn't even want the corn. It's trying to help out, though. Just tends to be bad at it because it's a hand. It can't see where it's going. Anytime it scores a hit is complete coincidence. That was 2. Here's the money they were talking about. Behind a sheet of glass. So we have work to do before we get that money. And that work involves 3 sweet corns. It's an increasing number of corn each time. Oh, they were headed right for me, too. Gotta sort of take the inside track, head him off. Everything Conker learned from his days in Diddy Kong Racing. Coming into play right here. Gotcha. Just slightly faster than the corn. But when we get hit, it's free. Hey, I think we're ready. I don't see any more corn, so we're moving on.
the Great Mighty Poo, and I'm going to throw my shit at you. A huge supply of tish comes from my chocolate starfish. How about some scat, you little twat?
Alright, we've been invited to eat shit by a shit monster. And I immediately died. If you touch the ground floor, instant death. But that should have been a checkpoint. Once we finished with the corn. Yeah. Exactly where we left off, but only 2 lives remain. So let's head back here. Be careful about this, because he's a good shot. This guy has been throwing dookie since before I was born. There we go. He changed his behavior. Mouth open. Missed my chance. Missed my mouth. Okay, good guess that time. Good thing he's so self-indulgent.
Do you really think you'll survive in here? You don't seem to know which creek you're in. Sweet corn is the only thing that makes it through my rear. How do you think I keep this lovely grin? Have some more caviar.
Our context-sensitive button is destroyed, and the opera continues. So we need to get in position, all while being pelted. There's only so many synonyms for shit that I can think of while I'm talking about what is happening right now. Pretty much out of them. My vocabulary for vulgarity is failing me. Gotcha, just barely. As per usual, 1 in the first cycle, 2 in the second cycle, and guess what? There's a third cycle. Very self-indulgent design, but I feel like they earned it with this one. Like this. This is above and beyond. The shit level was something else. This is a step further. When you thought they could go no further, they went way further. Gotcha. No, I didn't. But he didn't move.
Now I'm really getting rather mad. You're like a niggly, tickly, shitty little tag nut. When I've knocked you out with all my bab, I'm going to take your head and ram it up my butt.
Your butt.
My butt.
Your butt.
That's right, my butt.
Ugh.
My butt. My butt!
Gorgeous in its own way. I was talking about how I lack a certain number of terms for shit, but Great Mighty Poo here has several I've never heard before. Tish? Was that nab or something? I think British people might have extra terms. We do have a lot of slang over on the British Isles. So we're in double time. And it is really hard to find your target in time. Get him. Gotcha. That was a real close one. So he will sing a note 4 times in a row. And you have to already be aiming at him when he opens his mouth. Because repositioning will be too slow. This cycle is too fast. So you really need to get lucky predict where he's going to be. And it is never where he threw the last poo ball from. Not a chance. And he's behind me. That was 4. Blew it. Got very bad luck on where he decided to teleport. Bad luck and bad guesses. And... new follower. At the most disturbing of times, but also the best of times if you've never seen the Great Mighty Poo. Like I said, this is a thing you need to see once in your lifetime. Literally every human on Earth needs to see this. Whether they want to or not. But they probably do want to. I predict he's gonna be here, and he was. But I think I have to do one more. But yeah, if you've seen this once, I don't have a ton to add to it. It doesn't change. It's gonna play out the same way regardless. So there's not a lot of reason to see it multiple times in your life. But once is absolutely essential. You can't be said to have lived a life if you haven't seen the Great Mighty Poo. Die. Wipe the floor with him. Doors open. We just need to get to the money. I almost stumbled off of the awkward geometry. Fell into the pit. I think the checkpoint is right after he sings that high note and breaks the glass once and for all. But I am, like, very low on lives. Let's flush this fucker. There it is. Perspective.
Acid squirrel, look what you've done! I'm blushing! I'm blushing! Oh, what a world, what a world! Who'd have thought a good little squirrel like you could destroy my beautiful flagginess? Oh, I'm going! Oh! Ah! No!
Now that's what I call a bowel movement.
Why does Conker always emphasize the word call? That's not how you do that.
Some money over here.
But, that's what I call a job well done. Let's get our prize. Beyond the song itself, which is quite the prize.
You greedy bastard.
Yeah, more spondoolies.
Delicious. And you'd think that would be the end of this chapter. Technically, it is not. This boss fight is so involved and a multi-step process that it is considered its own chapter in the chapter select. So I am separating it out into its own video, even though it is technically just a boss fight. Or a pre-existing level. We flushed our way into a whole new path. Which, like I said, is still part of this chapter. Over here is the exit, and inexplicably, through some temporal anomaly, if we jump down there, we will appear back in the Poo cabin. Where we started this whole adventure.
He'd better have a good excuse this time. That is the last time he stands me up. Conker, I've had it just about up to... Who are you? Look, whatever it is you're selling, I'm just not interested. Well? Ooh. Oh.
Had to get Barry involved with the story somehow. Maybe not the ideal way, but now she is a damsel in distress. Let's see what we can do about that. Frankly, what we can do is not enviable. It involves more shit swimming, but it gets worse. This water is floating with chopped up animal parts. There's a organ of some description. Just little bits of meat everywhere. This is a bad sign for us, as the only way forward is through these fans. Well, let's go for it. Try and get through the fans. The swimming controls are pretty good. They're by no means good enough to trivialize this. We do get plenty of water fountains. Air fountains, reverse water fountains. Fountains that remove water from your lungs. Now this one, we're going to want to go parallel to it to build up speed so that we can get through the blade. And hope that it works. The first two, I have a pretty consistent system for getting by. This one, I just sort of freeball it and hope for the best. I made it. That one is actually quite difficult. Getting through all those in one is kind of a miracle. When we're through the other side, we see a fan directly above us, but it doesn't bother us at all. Which is good, because it's too fast to get by. Honestly, didn't think I'd make it through that in one. Either in one attempt or in one piece. But here we are. Not to say we're through the woods yet. Fan below us. Blades on either side. This rope only goes up to a meat hook. Don't touch the things, because that'll happen. No surprise there. Now, since we died, I actually find the grinders to be just as difficult as the fan blades. But fortunately, we got the life recovery every single attempt. Since we died, there's a unique death if we touch the fan blades. We get split in twain. Spin about comically, yet very, very violently. It's pretty amazing. The gorehound in me heartily approves. Like I said, I don't trust the blades here. But there we go. We made it past what I consider the hard part. Not like this part is easy, though. We are inside a volcano. Is not recommended. There's a poo world. Might have a certain degree of familiarity with that area. And some weasels. Let's introduce ourselves to the weasels.
Out. Can I get past?
No. You'll have to pay, the toll. Yes.
A toll. How much?
$1,000? Yeah, 1,000.
1,000 should do it. 500 each. Come on, cuff up. Looks like what he got it.
Yeah, look like kind of a pauper. Skedaddle.
$1,000. Oh, that means I gotta go back that way. No.
Squirrel. What did they look like?
Well, I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll come back. Right, let's keep guarding.
So they're not going to kidnap us and take us to the king, because they can't remember what squirrels look like. But they're also not going to let us pass. This is why you do Bat's Tower before the Great Mighty Poo. Even though the Great Mighty Poo makes much more sense. On the bright side, they don't make you backtrack through the fans. On the downside, we are going to have to go through the fans again when we get $1,000 to get past this. So, we'll do the correct levels later on. But at this point, we head back the way we came. Our adventure through Sloprano is concluded. Flush ourselves. And there we go. We will, like I said, be coming back there after the conclusion of the next level. There's the money that I should have gotten from the wasp's nest when I solved the puzzle of going through the various portals. Not sure why it wasn't there when I solved the puzzle. But I'll get that. And we'll be back soon with more Conker's Bad Fur Day. You have just enjoyed Sloprano, perhaps most iconic scene in all of Conker. Over on the remake front, they did make some important mechanical and artistic changes to how this boss fight plays out, as well as plenty of minor little changes, like the Great Mighty Poo flipping the bird. Nice little touch there. Now, this is right after I delivered the first sweet corn, so I'm moving on to the second area, where normally there would be 2 additional sweet corns we have to deliver, but there's just 1. Give it a smack. Send it into the pit. And we're on our way. Over the third area, also just 1. You only have to deliver a total of 3 sweet corns, rather than the 6 you have to do in the main thing, to summon the Great Mighty Poo, who should have half as many teeth. But no, he is not at all impeded by our lack of tribute. Now, his entire song has been re-recorded, and let's hear what they changed, as it is rather famous when it comes to the iconic Great Mighty Poo song.
Me. I am the Great Mighty Poo, and I am going to throw my at you. A huge supply of teach comes from my chocolate starfish. How about some scat, you little
They stepped on his introductory line and messed up the rhyme scheme with censorship fart sounds. I had no problem at all with the censorship added to the previous areas, or in any of the future areas for that matter. But right here, it objectively makes the Great Mighty Poo song significantly worse. They even released the official soundtrack to this version of the game with that censorship. On the bright side, his vulnerable phases have additional notes to them, which does add a bit of texture to the song and mechanically gives you a greater opportunity to strike. They also tried to change the way the broken glass looks. Boy, did they ever try. Upon closer inspection, though, it's not the best effort. Most of the glass is now missing, giving the player the impression that they could just fly past it, which is not at all the case. And the glass that remains is all warped instead of being shattered. Looks honestly like the surface of ice or something. Back to the boss, he sings a different set of notes during the double time phase. And then he just waits around for a long time afterwards, not vulnerable. So your opportunity to strike is actually not increased very much at all, making this double time phase still quite difficult. Whereas the previous phases were made significantly easier by the extra notes that he sings. And a tiny little thing is when he's spinning down the drain, the camera spins around to sync with his face. A neat little camera trick that makes it appear as though the environment is spinning rather than the boss. That was not present in the N64. And when we try to follow him down the drain, we discover the sheer scope of this area, which has been increased dramatically, making it actually fairly difficult to get between these platforms. You're better off sticking with the upper level and jumping down to the lower one. Also, there are load times in this version of the game, and they have no screen to them, they just sort of freeze frame. During this segment, we can now strafe underwater because of the changed controls. So we can move in the same direction as the fan and make it slightly easier to dodge it. There's also less chopped up body parts in the water. Until now, I've added some of my own. Had to show that cross-section of Conker. But it's fine, we can always go get the tail for another extra life for infinite retries. It does not reappear in this version. Extra lives are one and done, so you better have a good handle on those improved swimming controls. Finally, one microscopic detail. The speech bubble shows a large 1 and small zeros, but somehow they capitalize the 0 for this guy's speech bubbles. I'd never seen a capital 0 before, so I thought that was worth highlighting. They did also reveal Barry's redesign in a cutscene during this segment, but I will save that for later, when we can really ogle the character model and what they did to it. Gotta leave something to get people coming back for more, and after what they did to the Great Mighty Poo song, it might be a tough sell. When people complain about the censorship that was added to Live and Reloaded, that is probably the exact thing they are talking about. That should mean the worst is now behind us. See you again soon for more weirdness.